Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. So pour yourself a scotch because we're going to dig into the Runkle of the Bailey mailbag. Now, I did get some lovely things, and that's not what we're talking about today because I also got this. This is the second page of a letter. The first page has a bunch of addresses, so I'm not going to show you that directly, but you can note here the big red thumbprint. That's a sign that we've gotten a letter from a sovereign citizen or freeman on the land or otherwise one of those weirdos. Now, the reason why they do this is that they want it to symbolize a thumbprint in blood, but this one's done in ink because a lot of these guys don't actually have the stones to send you a real biohazard, so they send you a fake biohazard, which is weird to me because they get all particular about like names and so forth. You'd think they'd be sort of picky about whether it was actual blood or not. Anyway, they don't seem to like the actual, bleeding part, so they just do this because, wuss. Anyway, let's have a look at this letter. And I want you to infer how seriously I take this guy's position based on sort of the tone of my reactions. So all of you freeman and sovereign citizen types who are watching this, you should, who are like, oh, lawyers are secretly afraid of us. Spoiler alert, you're freaking hilarious. Anyway, let's dive in. Okay. So it starts off and you can see I've redacted out the addresses just for, just to protect the the guilty, I guess. So Jason Dennis of the family Bear. Can we just call him Teddy? Teddy Bear? I feel like that conveys the appropriate level of respect here. Now, Mr. Bear is upset with me because I did a video that covered his previous litigation, which didn't go so well for him. The court was so annoyed with his BS that they hit him with a bunch of fines, basically going, if you're going to file a bunch of nonsense, we're going to make you pay for it. So yeah, he was upset by that. If you're wondering what kind of litigation, apparently Teddy is getting divorced. And I know, right? Real surprise, real shocker. I mean, sometimes people fall out of love and so forth, but sometimes there's a reason. And I get the little vibes that there might be a reason here. Of course, I don't know. I'm just making my guesses here. But the city known as Fort Saskatchewan, in quotation marks, which he's doing because he thinks that's got magic relevance, which it doesn't. You can just say Fort Saskatchewan. In the province known as Alberta, in quotation marks. Again, same thing. Now, this is where he actually surprised me a bit because he put Ian of the family Runkle. Now, the reason why that surprised me is that a lot of the weird emails and so forth that I get think that my last name is Bailey, so props to him for figuring out my name. It's only the first thing in like every video, but a lot of people get it wrong. So yeah, that said, it's just Ian Runkle. There's no of the family thing. That's not a thing. The city known as Edmonton, the province known as Alberta. Again, you can just say Edmonton, Alberta. So, dear same BS, Ari, demand to cease and desist from open square bracket for some reason, malicious internet bullying / harassment and abuse, defamation of character. Now, again, what he's upset by is that I covered a court case, which he, that was his court case. So I'm not sure why he's upset by that because that's all public record. Like that's his doing. He made some choices. They're out in the public now. That's his fault. Anyway, this letter serves as a formal demand. Okay, now first thing, a cease and desist is in most cases just a letter. Typically they don't have any special legal effect. They might in some really weird corner cases, some, particular things, but here it's just a letter and you're free to ignore it as much as you're free to ignore any letter. So that you immediately cease and desist from malicious internet harassment and abuse, defamation of character. Okay. That sentence is grammatically bad, but that's not the worst of our problems here. This behavior is malicious internet harassment and abuse and defamation of my character. Okay, this is written really poorly, but I never asked for any of this internet bullying and defamation. Well, it's not defamation because I'm just talking about what actually happened in court, what was actually reported decisions. And internet bullying, no, we're just reporting on this. We're just talking here. So it's inappropriate and unwarranted. Well, then maybe don't do stupid things in court. And maybe don't send me stupid letters. I feel threatened for my life as Mr. Runkle's podcast followers now know my home address and my email address. Now, I haven't reported on anything that wasn't in the public domain anyway. So, yeah, the only thing that they actually put in there, I think, was his email address. And I'm not really sure how someone's supposed to kill you over email. Certainly, I don't think anyone's figured that out, and the instant they do, I expect the population of the world to decrease dramatically. But, yeah, the only reason I know his home address is that I presume that's what he put on the letter, which I redacted out, because, yeah. All right. He also notes, I demand that you take the following actions. Now, he can make all the demands he wants, but he can demand a pony, and he's not getting a pony. But let's see what he wants. First, delete the podcast, which is in all capital letters and quotation marks for some reason, that pertains to the bullying, harassment, abuse, and defamation of character. Well, first, none of those things happened, so I guess nothing to delete. But second of all, I'm not deleting anything. So, no. Make a public announcement on your podcast stating you have done wrong by Jason Dennis Bear. That's also a no. I haven't done you any wrong, sir. You've done yourself some substantial wrong. I haven't actually asked your ex about her opinions, but yeah, I'm just going to make a public announcement, Mr. Bear, that you are ridiculous and what the hell. Now he's getting into some other stuff. Proof/evidence that legal and/or civil procedure applies to any living man or woman. Now, first of all, if you want me to actually do work for you, that requires you to like pay money. And crazy people pay in advance in cash. But I will just sort of give you a freebie here, which is to gesture vaguely at the entirety of the legal system, like any random case on Canley, and you will see proof or evidence that the legal and/or civil procedure apply to people. Because it happens all the time. Proof/evidence that the 3 jurisdictions, which he spelled wrong, of law, land, air, water. So this is cute. He apparently thinks law stands for land, air, water, which it doesn't. He says water being the land of the sea. Oh, good. Wow. Land of the sea isn't really a thing, but it's a Freeman on the land concept. That's why they're like the Freeman on the land things. They're like, everything is boat law versus land. It's so idiotic. And yeah. Do not exist as you so elegantly demean me over. Well, the demeaning is going to continue. Sir, you demean yourself by writing stupid things to me, knowing, I mean, you had to know I was going to do a video, right? Tell me you're not that dumb. Okay. Proof/evidence that all you lawyers, barristers, attorneys do not knowingly put a living man and/or woman in the wrong jurisdiction to represent them as a corporation, a fiction. Well, this is just crazy gibberish in a sentence. This is like, please provide proof that leprechauns do not eat Smurfs. And I'm like, well, what? So anyway, this is gibberish. He has this Freeman on the land notion that, you know, yeah, it's not even worth getting into. Anyway, regardless to say, I'm not super worried about him, whatever. Proof/evidence that a lawyer, barrister, attorney is allowed to represent a living man or woman. Again, I'm just going to gesture vaguely to the courts. Like, walk into any courthouse and you can see lawyers representing people all the time. It is totally a thing. Like, literally, you can find this out in 5 minutes if you weren't busy making thumbprints. I mean, I appreciate the arts and crafts here of your thumbprint, but maybe you should go learn some things instead. Just saying. Please confirm in writing that you have received this letter. Well, I suppose I've confirmed that I've received it, but this is not writing. We're confirming in video and in laughter. And indicate your intention to comply with these demands. No. If I do not receive a response within 28 days of this letter, where's the date on this? Oh, he didn't even date it. Well, I guess. Regardless, 28 days later might be an interesting movie, but he's not getting any response other than this one, which again, I will take further action, including seeking legal remedies. Fill your freaking boots, dude, because how'd it go the last time? I seem to recall the court put a whole bunch of financial penalty on you for your gibberish. I also seem to recall that you must know about the case of Naomi Arbabi because it was specifically cited to you by the court in its response to your legal gibberish, pointing out that costs are appropriate when you bring gibberish filings. So, bring it, dude. I will laugh, and you will be burning your own house down, metaphorically speaking, because the court is likely to just go, let's pick some numbers out of the air that we think will be sufficient in order to tell this guy how stupid he is being, and then we're just going to assign those numbers as fines, and if he doesn't pay them, we're going to come over and take his stuff. And I assume you have stuff. He probably has stuff, guys. And I assume he doesn't want the government to take his stuff. Like, I have stuff. I do not want the government to take my stuff. I do a number of videos about not wanting the government to take my stuff. It's a very appropriate thing to not want. So why he's trying to make the government take his stuff, I don't know. Anyway, my responses to his letter are going to be A, this video, B, to probably giggle about it every time I think about it for the next week, and I guess to wait and see what happens, because, yeah. All right, so that was a little bit of fun. I thought we could all use some levity in the current times, but anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this interesting or educational. Other freemen on the land, sovereign citizen types, please take note. You guys often are like, you have this notion that lawyers are like hiding the true law. If that was the case, shouldn't I be worried about this? Shouldn't I be afraid of this guy and his, whatever this is, ink blot? I mean, come on, dude. If you're gonna send me a bloody thumbprint, at least be willing to show me that you can, like, like, I mean, I cut myself shaving. It's not even hard. So yeah, please take notice that when a lawyer actually gets one of your threats, we just find you funny. It's pathetic and it's embarrassing, and you should do better, because this is not a way to live your life. So if any of you watch this and go, hey, maybe I should not do what I've been doing, then this is a public service. Anyway, got a little bit of scotch left. We'll just finish that off, and we'll go ahead and read the Patreon crawl here. Please like this video, share, subscribe, all of those things. If you've got a freeman on your freeman of the land on your, in your life, send them this video. Just be like, hey, so a lawyer's talking about all that stuff you're talking about, and see what he thinks. But you can also find my Patreon linked in the description below. I want to thank my $50 supporters: Bottle Shock and Oz, Canada's National Firearms Association, the Canadian Coalition for Firearms Rights, the Canadian Shooting Sports Association, PJs Forever, Angela Skelton, Cielo, Purple Dragonair, and at the $20 level, I want to thank Lindsay, Mark, Larry Kalniak, Kyle Fox, Drunkle of the Baileys, Cameron Johnson, Andrew Elsich, and Marvin CZ. Thank you as well to my $10 supporters who will be in the crawl immediately following. Thank you for watching. Hope this has armed you with knowledge. See you next time.